Japan has already fixed problems the rest of the world is still complaining about. And as we head toward 2026, I wanted to put together a best of look at some of the smartest everyday inventions coming out of Japan. Not the big sci-fi stuff. The small ideas that quietly make life easier, cleaner, and less frustrating in ways most countries still haven't caught up with. This video brings together some of the most clever Japanese inventions from the past year. Each one solves a problem we all deal with but rarely question. And by the end of this list, there's a very good chance you'll be asking why your country is still doing things the hard way. Number 1. Tongue covers for medicine. Giving medicine to kids is basically a battle of wills.
Open up, sweetie. Just one little sip and it will be all over.
No way, that stuff tastes like a tire shop.
It's not that bad, I promise. Here comes the choo-choo.
You've got the spoon, they've got the gag reflex, and suddenly it feels like you're trying to sneak feed a cat. You promise it's cherry flavored, but they take one sip and look at you like you just poisoned them.
Come on, just one little sip. It'll help your throat.
Nope. Not happening.
It's cherry. You like cherry.
I like the idea of cherry. This tastes like regret.
Dramatic much? Open up. You're impossible.
Japan? They've solved it. Of course they have. They invented little tongue covers, thin strips you place on your tongue that block taste buds from picking up bitterness. So when kids take their medicine, they don't even notice the awful flavor. Genius, right? Instead of bribing your child with ice cream or begging them to just swallow it quickly, you slap on a tongue cover and boom. No drama. Meanwhile, the rest of us are out here crushing pills into applesauce, hiding antibiotics in chocolate pudding, or straight up negotiating like hostage takers just to get 1 teaspoon down. Japan once again makes the rest of the world look lazy and a little medieval. They're out here hacking the actual taste buds, and we're still trying to trick children with the world's worst magic trick. Here comes the airplane. Number 2. Super-cooled slushy vending machines. Most of us know the pain of trying to make a slushie at home. You stick a soda in the freezer just for a little while and forget about it, and the next time you open the door, boom, exploded can, sticky walls, and a lecture from whoever actually owns the freezer. That's the amateur way. Japan? They've perfected it. They've got vending machines that keep bottled drinks in a super-cooled state. Basically colder than freezing, but still liquid. Then the magic happens. You shake the bottle or crack it open, and in seconds it transforms into the perfect icy slush. No mess, no sticky freezer disasters, just science flexing in your hands. It works on a process called supercooling. Chilling the liquid below zero, but holding it there until you trigger it. One little shake, and it's like flipping a switch. The whole bottle instantly crystallizes into a smooth, drinkable slushie. Coca-Cola has done it. Sharp even rents out fridges to keep drinks this way. And Japan casually sells them in vending machines like it's no big deal. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still out here fiddling with ice trays and getting yelled at for leaving cans in the freezer too long. Japan turned physics into a party trick you can buy on the street. And once again, the rest of us look like we're stuck in the dark ages of refrigeration. Number 3, air-conditioned jackets with fans. Summer in most countries is just pure suffering. You step outside and within 30 seconds, you're already regretting every life choice that led you there. Sweat dripping, shirt sticking, deodorant giving up on you completely. And the only solution the rest of us seem to have is stand in front of a fan or crank up the AC indoors, which is great, until you actually need to go outside like a normal human. Now let's check in on Japan. They looked at heat stroke and said, nah, we're not doing that. Instead, they invented air-conditioned jackets. Yep. Actual lightweight jackets with built-in fans that suck in air, circulate it around your body, and keep you cool no matter how brutal the heat is. Construction workers, delivery drivers, anyone stuck outside in the blazing sun. They just zip one on, turn it on, and instantly beat the heat like it's nothing. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still trying to shove water bottles down our shirts or standing in front of the freezer like that's a real plan. Japan has literal wearable AC, and we're basically human puddles every summer. Once again, like they've cracked the code, and we're just out here melting. Number 4. Mosquito repellent stickers. Let's talk about mosquitoes. Those tiny vampires that somehow ruin every summer night. Most of us are out here spraying toxic chemicals all over ourselves, lighting citronella candles that don't actually work, or waving our hands around like we're in some sort of interpretive dance battle just to keep them away. But Japan? They've simplified it in the most genius way possible. Mosquito repellent stickers. That's right. Little adhesive patches you slap onto your clothes, and they release a safe scent that mosquitoes can't stand. No sprays, no stinky creams, no accidentally inhaling bug repellent and questioning your life choices. Just stick one on and you're instantly bite-proof. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is still out here marinating in DEET like it's a perfume. And let's be honest, half the time the mosquitoes don't even care. They bite you anyway. But in Japan, even babies and kids can walk around mosquito-free while the rest of us are scratching our legs raw like we've just lost a fight with poison ivy. Once again, Japan makes it look easy, and the rest of us look like amateurs. And hey, if you think these little Japanese inventions are as mind-blowing as I do, make sure you hit like and subscribe, because you really don't want to miss the next ones. They're even crazier. Number 5. Movie snack swivel tray. All right, so picture this. You're at the movies, popcorn in one hand, soda in the other, and now you're trying to juggle a hot dog, a box of candy, and maybe some nachos on your lap. By the time the previews are over, your shirt looks like it's been through a food fight. That's the standard movie-going experience in most countries, a balancing act that could qualify for the Olympics. But in Japan, of course, they've made it effortless. Their theaters have snack trays that literally plug into your cup holder and swivel. You load them up with food, swing them closer when you need a bite, and then push them back out of the way when you're done. And here's the best part. You can actually share with the person next to you without that awkward, here, take some shuffle across the armrest. It's smooth, it's clean, and it makes us look like savages trying to eat off our laps in the dark. Meanwhile, everywhere else, we're basically building snack towers on our knees and hoping nothing falls over. Japan is out here turning movie snacking into a fine art, and the rest of us are one spilled soda away from losing it. Honestly, this one stings, because we've all thought of this, but Japan is the only place smart enough to actually do it. Number 6. Storm prevention centers. Most countries handle natural disasters the same way. A boring pamphlet no one reads, a yearly school drill where everyone half-asses it, and maybe a good luck announcement on the news when things get serious. That's our big plan. Japan? Totally different story. They've got full-on storm prevention centers where you don't just learn about disasters, you actually experience them. Want to know what it feels like when the ground shakes in a real earthquake? They'll put you on a simulation platform and rattle you around until you get it. Want to understand how fast a typhoon can knock you off your feet? Step into their wind tunnel and find out the hard way. They've basically turned survival training into an amusement park ride. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still pretending that standing under a doorway or hiding in the bathtub is going to save us. Japan is out here giving people hands-on, realistic training so they actually know what to do when disaster strikes, while we're just hoping Netflix will pause itself long enough for us to grab some candles. Honestly, if every country had these centers, half of us wouldn't be running around like headless chickens the moment something goes wrong. Number 7. Hidden fold-out bus seats. Public buses everywhere else in the world follow the same rule. If the seats are full, tough luck, you're standing. You grip that sticky pole for dear life while the driver takes corners like he's auditioning for Fast and Furious, and you spend the whole ride praying you don't end up face-planting into a stranger's armpit. But in Japan, they don't just shrug and say, deal with it. Their buses have hidden fold-out seats tucked away in the aisles. When it gets crowded, passengers can literally pull down an extra seat and sit comfortably instead of wobbling around like a human bowling pin. It's practical, simple, and so brilliantly obvious that it makes you wonder why nobody else thought of it. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still fighting over who gets the last seat, or worse, trying to lean casually while our legs are shaking from holding on too long. Japan gave their passengers dignity, and the rest of us, we're still doing bus yoga just to stay upright. Number 8. Umbrella drying machines. Rainy days everywhere else are the same story. You walk into a shop or office with a dripping wet umbrella, and suddenly you're public enemy number 1. Water everywhere, slippery floors, people glaring at you like you've just committed a crime. The best solution most places can come up with? A sad little stand by the door where your umbrella basically just continues to leak all over the floor. But in Japan, they've got umbrella drying machines. You slide your wet umbrella in, and within seconds, warm air blasts all the moisture away. You walk off with a completely dry umbrella, and the store doesn't look like a swimming pool lobby. Simple, clean, and just so much smarter. Meanwhile, the rest of us are either shaking umbrellas like lunatics, soaking ourselves in the process, or wrapping them in plastic bags that tear instantly. Japan solved this years ago, and we're still out here pretending paper towels are a real solution. Once again, they're living in the future, and we're, well, damp. Number 9. Robotic beer vendors at baseball games. Go to a baseball game anywhere else in the world, and getting a drink is a whole ordeal. You either line up for half an inning at the concession stand, or you wave frantically at the vendor in the stands, who, let's be real, moves slower than molasses and probably ignores you anyway. By the time you get your beer, you've missed the only exciting play of the game. Japan? Totally different. They've got beer vendors carrying robotic backpacks. Yes, you heard that right. Women in neon uniforms walking the aisles with 20 kilos of beer strapped to their backs, complete with a spray gun tap that pours a perfectly foamy cup right there on the spot. It's fast, it's efficient, And it's kind of like being served by a cyborg bartender in the middle of the stands. Meanwhile, in the rest of the world, you're either sipping on warm beer from a plastic bottle or stuck waiting in a line that feels longer than the actual game. Japan has turned ballpark beer into a high-tech performance, and we're just here, thirsty. Number 10, cake vending machines. Vending machines everywhere else in the world? Chips, candy, maybe a sad bottle of water that costs $5. That's the peak of innovation we've managed. But in Japan? Oh no, they had to outdo everyone again. They've got cake vending machines. You push a button and out slides a perfectly frosted slice of cake, ready to eat. No lines, no bakery, no awkward, do you want a box or a bag? Questions. Just instant dessert on demand. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still fighting with vending machines that eat our coins and get stuck halfway down the chute. Japan has figured out how to dispense a delicate sponge cake without crushing it, and we're still praying the Snickers doesn't get wedged on the spiral. It's honestly insulting at this point. They're casually living in the future, and the rest of us are begging the machine to just drop already. Only in Japan could you have a vending machine that gives you a sugar high and Instagram content at the same time. The rest of the world, we're just settling for stale chips. Number 11, stapler without staples. Every office in the world has that one stapler that doesn't work. You slam it down, the staple jams, and now you're stuck fishing out bent metal bits with a paperclip like some kind of DIY surgeon. Half the time it barely holds the papers together anyway. And the other half, you run out of staples when you need it most. Japan? Naturally, they've already solved this. They came up with a stapler that doesn't use staples at all. Instead of firing bits of metal, it punches and folds the paper in such a way that the sheets lock together securely. No extra parts, no waste, no hassle. It's simple, sustainable, and so clever it makes the rest of our office supplies look like they were designed in the Stone Age. Meanwhile, the rest of us are out here wasting money on boxes of staples and pretending we'll ever recycle them properly. Japan's offices are running with eco-friendly magic, while ours are filled with broken staplers that make you question your career choices. Honestly, this little gadget might be the most satisfying thing you've never used. Number 12. Yogurt lids that don't stick. All right, let's talk about one of life's most universal betrayals. Yogurt lids, you peel one back, and suddenly half your breakfast is clinging to the foil, like it's holding on for dear life. So, what do? We lick it. Every single one of us has stood there, lid in hand, looking like a desperate raccoon trying to salvage a few extra bites of strawberry yogurt. Japan? They don't play that game. Their yogurt lids are designed so the yogurt doesn't stick at all. You peel it off, it's perfectly clean, and all the good stuff stays where it belongs, inside the cup. No mess, no awkward, do I lick this in public moment. No wasted yogurt. It's such a small fix, but honestly, it's the kind of everyday genius that makes you wonder why the rest of the world is still failing at dairy packaging. Meanwhile, we're still scraping lids with spoons like cavemen trying to invent fire. Japan has once again made the simplest part of life smarter. And somehow the rest of us can't even keep our yogurt under control. One of the things Japan does better than almost anywhere else is turning tiny daily annoyances into non-issues. This next section is packed with ideas that feel so obvious once you see them, you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. Number 1. Screen protector vending machines. Let's start with the invention that single-handedly ends one of humanity's greatest struggles. Putting on a screen protector without turning it into a bubble-filled disaster. In Japan, you don't do it yourself. You take your phone to a vending machine, a vending machine, slide it in, press a button, and the machine installs the protector perfectly, straight, smooth, no dust, no fingerprints, no crying. It's basically a tiny robot technician living inside a box, doing a job most people would gladly outsource forever, and it's weirdly satisfying to watch. Everything lines up, the protector glides on, and you walk away feeling like your phone just got a spa treatment. Meanwhile, everywhere else, we're still using credit cards, kitchen towels, and prayer. We buy a bubble-free protector that somehow arrives preloaded with bubbles. Japan looked at all of that chaos and said, no, absolutely not, and built a machine that fixes it in seconds. Why this isn't global yet is honestly a crime. Number 2. Two-way refrigerators. Japan looked at the classic fridge door, the one that always opens the wrong way no matter which side you stand on, and said, okay, that's cute, but what if it opened from both sides? So they made it real. Japanese two-way refrigerators swing open left or right, depending on where you grab it. No more kitchen gymnastics, no more yelling, move, because someone is blocking the fridge. No more standing there with your arms full, trying to guess which direction the door is going to betray you this time. It's the kind of invention that feels small until you imagine having it at home. Suddenly, every apartment, every shared kitchen, every late-night snack run becomes 10 times easier. And the best part? It doesn't look fancy or futuristic. It just quietly makes your life better, and which is peak Japan energy. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still fighting with fridge doors like it's part of a morning workout routine. Number 3, underground bicycle parking silos. Japan doesn't just park bikes. Japan sends them underground like they're being checked into a secret bunker. And honestly, it's one of the coolest things you'll ever see. Here's how it works. You wheel your bike up to a little platform, tap your IC card, and the ground literally opens up. A robotic arm grabs your bike, spins it around like it's preparing for launch, and sends it down into a giant underground storage silo. Your bike disappears in seconds. Safe, dry, impossible to steal. No chains, no locks, no someone knocked my bike over and scratched it trauma. And retrieving it, you tap your card again, and your bike shoots back up like it just completed a mission for the Japanese Secret Service. It's dramatic in the best way, the kind of thing that makes you feel like the main character, even if you're just going grocery shopping. This system solves so many problems at once. No messy bike racks cluttering the streets, no rain damage, no theft, and you don't have to play "Where did I park?" because the machine remembers for you. It's insanely efficient, super satisfying to watch, and somehow still smoother than most airport baggage systems. Meanwhile, the rest of us are over here with bikes chained to poles, hoping for the best and getting the worst. Japan said, what if bike parking felt like science fiction? And then they actually built it. If you're enjoying this so far, please go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's wonderfully weird inventions. And if you love discovering stuff you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. The next ones are just as wild. Number 4, robot cow ice cream machine. Japan could have just made a normal ice cream vending machine, but no. That would be far too sensible. Instead, they built a robot cow that serves soft serve like it's proudly offering fresh dairy straight from the source, without actually being alive, which honestly makes the whole thing even funnier. You walk up to this adorable robotic cow, press a button, and it sort of dispenses a perfect swirl of soft serve from its front like it's the most natural thing in the world. Kids love it. Adults love it. Tourists stand there confused but still end up buying a cone because how do you walk past a robot cow handing out ice cream and not participate? But the best part? It's good. Like suspiciously good. Creamy, smooth, perfectly shaped, all coming from a machine shaped like something you'd expect to see in a theme park, not a regular street corner. And somehow, nobody in Japan acts like this is unusual. It's just Tuesday. Meanwhile, everywhere else, we're still dealing with ice cream machines that break down if you breathe near them. Japan's over here casually letting robotic farm animals manage dessert. Number 5, disposable shoe cover stations. Rainy day in Japan? No problem. Before you track mud all over a store, a school, or someone's home, Japan hands you a solution so simple and so brilliant that it feels like a personal attack on every other country. Shoe cover stations. Sometimes they're disposable covers you pull from a neat little dispenser. Sometimes they're automatic machines where you simply step in, click, and step out with your shoes wrapped like they're about to undergo surgery. And sometimes you'll even find reusable ones being sold in convenience stores so you can be polite and environmentally friendly. It completely eliminates the drama of slippery wet floors, muddy footprints, soaked socks, that awkward shuffle where you try wiping your shoes on the mat like it's going to help. It never does. In Japan, you just slip on a cover and walk in like a civilized human. Meanwhile, everywhere else is out here turning every rainy entrance into an extreme sport. One wrong step and you're recreating a figure skating routine in the middle of a supermarket. Japan saw the chaos and said, let's just not. Number 6, popcorn swivel trays in cinemas. Japan has officially solved one of the great struggles of modern entertainment. Trying to eat snacks in a cinema without looking like you're performing a low-budget circus act. In some Japanese movie theaters, every seat comes with a swivel tray that glides smoothly over your lap. You pull it toward you and suddenly you have a personal snack table. Stable, roomy, and designed with actual human beings in mind. Popcorn? Perfect. Drink? Secure. Extra snacks you definitely didn't need but bought anyway? All neatly in place. Meanwhile, in other countries, going to the movies is basically a balancing challenge. You've got popcorn on one thigh, a drink wedged into the cup holder at a weird angle, maybe a chalk top melting onto the wrapper, and somehow you're still trying to hold your phone because you forgot to silence it. One wrong move and your entire lap turns into a snack avalanche. Japan watched all of that chaos and said, let's just give you a tray. And honestly, it changes the whole experience. You can relax, lean back, and actually watch the movie instead of worrying that your popcorn is about to perform a dramatic escape. It's such a simple idea, but once you use it, you'll never want to go back to juggling snacks like a circus performer again. Number 7, 2D manga cafes. Japan didn't just make themed cafes, they made cafes that look like you've walked straight into a comic book. Literally. These 2D manga cafes are designed so every wall, chair, table, cup, and even the plants look like they've been drawn with a black marker. Thick outlines, flat colors, and zero shading. It's like the whole place forgot how to be three-dimensional. You sit down with your drink and suddenly feel like an animated extra in your own life. People take photos everywhere because the optical illusion is that good. It genuinely tricks your brain for a moment. You'll pick up a chair and it still looks flat. You'll put down your cup and it looks like a prop. And ordering food feels like you're about to get served by a manga character who says, "Here is your latte, senpai." It's quirky in the most Japan way possible. And honestly, we need these everywhere. Imagine going out for coffee and getting a free identity crisis because your entire environment looks like a drawing. It's fun, weirdly calming, and somehow makes even the most ordinary drink feel special. Meanwhile, everywhere else, cafes are bragging about having one neon sign and a plant wall. Japan said, cute. What if the whole place was a cartoon? Number 8. Hologram ice cream. Only in Japan can you order ice cream and accidentally feel like you've stepped into the future. Some dessert shops use holograms and AR projection to make your ice cream look like it's glowing, swirling, sparkling, or floating, basically turning a normal dessert into a mini special effects show. You sit down, place your ice cream under a light projector, and suddenly it's surrounded by animated flowers, dancing sparkles, swirling galaxies, or little characters that interact with the dessert like it's alive. It's the kind of thing that makes you stare for 5 full minutes before you even take a bite. And yes, everyone pulls their phone out instantly because how do you not record this? What makes it even better is that it isn't a gimmick. The projections are crisp, bright, and timed perfectly. It feels like your dessert has its own personality. Some shops even theme the visuals. Cherry blossom animations in spring, fireflies in summer, snowflakes in winter. Japan basically said, ice cream is great, but what if it also had a storyline? Meanwhile, the rest of us are still dealing with ice cream that melts faster than we can sit down. Japan said, relax. This dessert comes with special effects. Number 9. Japanese bathtub thermal covers. Japan treats bath time like a sacred event. Warm, calm, and absolutely not rushed. And to protect that experience, most Japanese homes use bathtub thermal covers that keep the water hot for hours. Not warm, hot. Like still steaming after someone else already used it. Hot. Here's why they exist. In Japan, families don't drain and refill the bath after every person. Everyone takes turns using the same perfectly heated water. So between bathers, you just slide the cover over the top. It locks in the heat, stops steam from escaping, and saves a ton of energy. The water stays so consistently warm that the next person gets the exact same cozy, melt your stress away experience. And these covers aren't flimsy either. Some are foldable boards, some are rolling lids, and some even come with little insulation bumps that feel like the bath is wearing a puffer jacket. They're neat, tidy, and incredibly satisfying to open. You roll it back and the steam rises dramatically like you've just uncovered a hot spring. Meanwhile, everywhere else, by the time you get into the bath, the water has already dropped 10 degrees, your toes are freezing, and you're sitting there trying to convince yourself it's still relaxing. Japan said, no, everyone deserves the same perfect bath temperature, and made it happen. It's simple, it's clever, and honestly, every country should copy it immediately. Number 10, rice field art. Japan somehow took farming, something most countries treat as purely practical, and turned it into one of the coolest pieces of public art you'll ever see. It's called tanbo art, or rice field art, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Gigantic pictures created by planting different colors of rice across huge fields. But here's the crazy part. The designs are perfect. Not, oh, that kind of looks like something, perfect. I mean, full characters, landscapes, anime scenes, historical figures, entire movie posters, all created with nothing but rice plants grown in carefully mapped out sections. When you view it from the observation deck above, it looks like a massive billboard made entirely out of nature. Every year the designs change and entire towns get involved. Farmers, volunteers, students, everyone helps plant the colors in the right spots. Then over the following months, the art slowly comes to life as the fields grow. It's like watching a real-world loading bar for a giant masterpiece. In person, it's mind-blowing. The pictures are huge, sometimes the size of football fields, and the detail is so sharp it feels impossible. Even drones struggle to capture the scale. Meanwhile, most places grow boring rectangular fields and call it a day. Japan said, sure, we can grow rice, but what if we made it art? It's beautiful, it's creative, it's wholesome, and it is honestly the perfect finale. A reminder that Japan doesn't just innovate in tech, it innovates in culture, design, and joy. Japan doesn't just innovate, it casually creates things that feel completely unnecessary until you see them in action. This next section is full of inventions so specific, so clever, and so uniquely Japanese, you'll wonder why they even exist. and then immediately want all of them. Number 1, Pokemon Cafe. If you've ever wanted to eat lunch inside a video game, Japan has already turned that idea into a fully booked restaurant. The Pokemon Cafe is one of those places where everything, and I mean everything, is aggressively cute. The chairs are cute, the plates are cute, the staff are cute. Even your food looks like it's practicing for a modeling career. Order an omelet? No, you're getting a Pikachu omelet that's so perfectly shaped, you'll question whether you're allowed to eat it or if it needs its own Instagram account first. Order a latte? It arrives with Eevee or Jigglypuff's face drawn on the foam with surgical precision, and suddenly you feel guilty ruining it. And the vibe inside? Imagine 60 people all gasping, squealing, and taking photos at the same time because a giant Pikachu mascot casually walks out like it's Beyoncé doing a surprise tour stop. Kids scream, adults scream louder, phones are out. It's chaos, but the cute kind. But here's the most Japanese part. You can't just show up. You must book weeks in advance, like it's some exclusive Michelin restaurant where the chef is Pikachu himself. It's weird, it's adorable, it's unforgettable. And you'll only ever find something this extra in Japan. Number 2, oil hardener. Japan has solved a problem most of us didn't even realize needed solving. What to do with that disgusting pan of leftover cooking oil. In other countries, people panic pour it into a jar, leave it on the bench for 6 months, or dump it down the sink and pretend it wasn't them. Japan, meanwhile, said, no, we will science this. Enter the oil hardener, a little packet of magical powder you sprinkle into used oil. You stir it in, wait a moment, and the oil literally turns into jelly, solid. Like a wobbly block you can pick up and throw straight into the bin without setting your house on fire or destroying your plumbing. It's so simple and so clever you wonder why the rest of the world is still living like cavemen. Imagine being able to deep fry chicken, pour in some powder, and then just bin the whole problem. No smell, no mess, no arguments about who left the oil in the kitchen again. It's one of those inventions that feels tiny, but once you see it, you think, yep, Japan has once again fixed my entire life with a product worth about $3. Only Japan would turn hot grease into a neat, tidy, environmentally friendly jelly block. And honestly, we should all steal this idea. Number 3, beer vendors with backpack kegs. If you've never watched a baseball game in Japan, you're missing one of the greatest inventions in stadium history, the human beer dispenser. While other countries make you line up for 20 minutes, miss half the game, and pay the price of a small car for one drink, Japan does it differently. Japan sends people directly to you, with kegs strapped to their backs. These vendors, usually young women, but sometimes guys too, walk up and down the stands with giant metallic backpacks filled with fresh draft beer. Not bottles, not cans. Draft. As in, they literally pour it straight into your cup like they are running a tiny bar attached to their spine. And the speed? Ridiculous. You raise your hand, they run over with the energy of someone doing a fitness test, they pump the tap, hand you a perfectly poured beer with zero foam drama, and jog off to the next customer like it's a sport inside a sport. Stadium beer culture in Japan is so efficient it should win an award. People don't get up, no lines form, nobody blocks your view. You just sit there, enjoy the game, and wait for your portable bartender to appear like a beer delivery angel. It's fun, it's bizarre, and once you see it, you'll wonder why every stadium in the world hasn't copied this already. Number 4, hot stone reheater for soup. Japan takes food temperature very seriously. So seriously that if your ramen or hot pot starts cooling down even a little bit, some restaurants won't hand you a new bowl, they'll hand you a rock. A dangerously hot, freshly heated volcanic stone that looks like it was pulled straight out of Mount Fuji 5 minutes ago. Here's how it works. Your soup gets a bit cold. A staff member walks over, drops this sizzling stone into your bowl with metal tongs, and suddenly your meal is bubbling like it's auditioning for a cooking show. No microwave, no reheating in the kitchen, just a literal rock doing the job. And honestly, it's brilliant. The stone keeps your food hot for way longer, the flavor doesn't get ruined, and the whole dramatic sizzle moment makes everyone at your table stop eating to stare like, what did you just summon? It's such a uniquely Japanese solution. Practical, theatrical, and absolutely not something you'd see in the West unless someone was trying very hard to get sued. The best part? You feel like you're doing a tiny science experiment every time your soup cools down. 1 minute you're eating normally, the next minute you're dropping lava stones into your dinner, like you've unlocked a special feature. Japan invents the smartest nonsense, and this hot stone reheater is proof. Number 5. Drinks that freeze when you open them. Japan sells drinks that basically perform a magic trick the moment you open them. They look normal, feel normal, shake like a normal bottle, but the second you twist the cap, boom. They instantly turn into a slushie. It's like watching a liquid panic and freeze out of embarrassment. Here's what's happening. The drink stays super cooled in the bottle without freezing solid. But the moment you release the pressure by opening it, The whole thing transforms into a cold, icy, drinkable snowstorm. Kids love it. Adults pretend they bought it for the kids. Nobody believes them. And the best part? You can literally control the texture. Shake it a bit, open it fast, open it slow. You get different levels of slush. It's like a DIY frozen drink without the machine, the noise, or that one kid hogging the entire slushy machine at 7-Eleven. Of course, only Japan would sell a drink that's half beverage, half science experiment. It's refreshing, it's fun, and it makes every other soft drink feel incredibly boring. Just don't open it in front of someone who's never seen one before. They will look at you like you have superpowers. Number 6, edible coffee cups. Japan looked at disposable coffee cups, thought about the environment, and then said, you know what? Let's just make the whole cup edible. And that's exactly what they did. A crunchy, biscuit-like cup that you can drink out of, and then eat like a snack. These edible cups stay solid for about 20 to 30 minutes, even with hot drinks inside, which is honestly impressive because most biscuits collapse instantly if you even think about dipping them in tea. But these are like the superheroes of cookies. Japan Airlines uses them, cafes use them, eco stores love them, and tourists freak out because you literally finish your latte and then immediately take a bite out of the cup, like some kind of caffeine-powered monster. It tastes a bit like a waffle cone, but sturdier. Like the cup spent its childhood lifting weights. And yes, you'll see people standing around drinking coffee like normal, and then casually munching their cup afterward like it's no big deal. It's cute, it's strange, and it's peak Japan. Solving environmental problems with delicious snacks. Number 7, pizza vending machines. Only in Japan can you walk up to a vending machine and order an actual freshly cooked pizza like it's no big deal. These machines look completely normal on the outside. Just a big red box sitting on a street corner, but inside there's a full little oven waiting to bake your pizza on command. You pick your flavor on the screen, pay, and then wait a couple of minutes while the machine literally cooks your order. Not reheats. Cooks! As in, the pizza goes from raw to ready inside the vending machine, like Japan has invented the world's tiniest, most polite pizzeria. And when it comes out, it's surprisingly good. Not Michelin star good, obviously, but definitely, I can't believe a machine made this good. Tourists lose their minds, locals treat it like it's perfectly normal, and the machine just keeps pumping out pizzas like it's clocking in for a shift. It's one of those things where Japan mixes convenience with chaos in the best possible way, because who doesn't want a 2 a.m. pizza that appears out of a robot? If this is the kind of strange Japan content you love, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Number 8, yogurt lids that don't stick. This is the moment you realize Japan is built different. Every other country is still fighting the daily battle of peeling open a yogurt lid without getting a blob of yogurt flicked onto their shirt. But Japan just quietly fixed the entire problem years ago. Their yogurt lids come off clean. No gunk, no goo, no betrayal. You peel it back, and it's like the yogurt respects you. It stays in the tub where it belongs instead of launching itself onto the lid like it's trying to escape. The secret is a special micro texture they built into the foil. It stops yogurt from sticking in the first place, which feels like some kind of food sorcery because no one else on Earth has figured this out. We're all out here licking lids like it's a personality trait. And Japan is living in the future where yogurt behaves itself. It's such a tiny invention, but it says everything about the country. Japan will fix even the smallest inconvenience while the rest of the world just shrugs and accepts the mess. Number 9, Arkellis, Japan's wearable chair. Japan didn't just invent a chair. Japan invented a chair you wear. It's called the Arkellis. And it looks like something you'd see in a futuristic movie where everyone has robot legs and no one has back pain. This clever piece of Japanese engineering straps onto your legs like an exoskeleton. You walk normally, you stand normally, but when you lock it into place, it secretly holds your weight so you can sit while you're technically still standing. No batteries, no motors, no weird noises, just pure mechanical genius. It was originally made for surgeons because some operations go for 6, 7, even 8 hours. And apparently surgeons aren't allowed to say, "Can we take a quick break? My legs hurt." So Japan said, "Fine, we'll build you a wearable seat." Now, factory workers, retail staff, and basically anyone stuck on their feet all day want one. And honestly, same. Imagine standing in a long airport line or waiting for a train and suddenly just sitting in mid-air while everyone around you is suffering. People would stare. You wouldn't care. It's smart. It's strange. It's totally over-engineered in the best possible way. And it is peak Japanese problem solving. Number 10, vertical car stacking parking towers. Japan looked at regular parking lots, realized they take up way too much space, and said, why don't we just stack the cars like a giant vending machine? And that's exactly what they did. These parking towers are fully automated. You drive your car onto a platform, step out, push a button, and the machine literally lifts your car away like it's being taken to car heaven. It goes up, down, sideways, wherever the system decides to store it. You don't see where it goes. You don't follow it. You just trust the giant robot to handle your vehicle better than any valet ever could. And when you want it back, you press another button and your car returns from the shadows like it's making a dramatic entrance in a movie. Lights flash, the platform rotates, doors open. It's all very theatrical, but in the most polite Japanese way possible. The best part is how fast and quiet the whole thing is. There's no yelling, no reversing drama, no person blocking the exit because they can't park straight. Just robots doing their job perfectly while you stand there thinking, why does my country still have chaotic parking lots when this exists? It's efficient, it saves space, and it looks insanely cool. Another example of Japan turning everyday tasks into futuristic experiences. Number 11. Aircon jackets. Japan doesn't just deal with heat. Japan engineers against it. And one of the most amazing and slightly hilarious inventions you'll see, there is the air-conditioned jacket. Yes, a jacket with built-in fans. Not tiny fans, proper fans that puff the whole jacket up like you're about to float away. These jackets were made for outdoor workers who have to deal with brutal summers. Construction crews, delivery drivers, warehouse staff, gardeners. Instead of sweating through their clothes like the rest of us, they zip up this jacket, flick a switch, and immediately get their own personal cooling system. It circulates air inside the jacket, pushes heat out, and turns the wearer into a walking air-conditioned marshmallow. And the thing is, they actually work. People swear by them. Instead of overheating, they stay cool, comfortable, and slightly inflated, like the Michelin Man if he had a full-time job. Of course, tourists see these jackets and completely lose it. They stare, they whisper, they take sneaky photos because they can't believe Japan has cracked the code on wearable climate control. But for Japan, this is just everyday problem solving. In this next section, we're widening the focus slightly. Japan isn't the only place quietly upgrading everyday life. Japan and Korea are both packed with smart, playful ideas that make normal routines feel easier and way more fun. Number 1, Hitori karaoke. Solo karaoke booths. If you've ever wanted to sing your heart out without an audience judging your every off-key note, Japan and Korea have solved that. Hitori karaoke, or solo karaoke, is a private booth made for one person. You walk in, close the door, and it's just you, the mic, and zero pressure. It's soundproof, cozy, and comes with a touchscreen, where you can queue up songs like you're your own personal DJ. It's perfect for people who love singing but hate the group performance anxiety. No friends yelling, "Skip this one," halfway through your song. No waiting for your turn. And no one secretly filming your dramatic ballad for their Instagram story. These booths are popping up everywhere. There's from malls to train stations, and they're surprisingly affordable. Some even come with recording options so you can save your concert for later, or delete it immediately when you hear what you actually sound like. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still belting it out in the shower, praying the neighbors don't complain. Number 2, Sharp Pocketomo AI Pocket Companion. Meet Japan's newest pocket-sized friend, the Sharp Pocketomo. It's basically a tiny emotional support robot that fits in your hand and actually responds to you like a living creature. Think of it as part pet, part AI buddy, and part therapist that never gets tired of hearing you complain. This little glowing robot uses voice recognition and sensors to learn your habits. It reacts when you talk to it, remembers your mood, and even glows in different colors depending on how it's feeling. It's small enough to carry around, so people literally take it on trains to cafes or just keep it on their desks for company. The idea came from the loneliness trend among younger adults, and honestly, Sharp just leaned straight into it. Instead of pretending loneliness doesn't exist, they built a companion that listens, reacts, and looks adorable doing it. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is still pretending that yelling, "Hey Siri" at your phone is the same thing as human interaction. Japan made a pocket friend. We made another notification. Number 3, pizza vending machines. Japan and Korea don't just do vending machines. They've turned them into an art form. Forget snacks and sodas. These machines literally make you a fresh, hot pizza right there on the spot. You pick your flavor, usually margarita or pepperoni, tap your order, and within about 5 minutes, the machine kneads the dough, adds the toppings, and bakes it using a built-in mini oven. Out slides a perfectly cooked pizza, no delivery app, no awkward "driver's lost again" text, and no tipping required. The first time you see it, it looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. But the quality's actually legit. Crispy crust, melted cheese, and all. And you can find them in places like Tokyo train stations and Seoul shopping centers where people just grab a slice on their lunch break. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still arguing with apps that say our pizza is arriving soon, while it's clearly still at the restaurant. Japan and Korea made vending machines that cook better than half our takeout places. If you're loving these ideas so far, make sure to hit like and subscribe, because the next ones are even crazier. Number 4, the Japanese hot stone for soup. Here's one you'll wish your favorite restaurant had. In Japan, if your soup starts to go cold, They don't reheat it in the kitchen. They hand you a hot stone, and it's a small, smooth rock that's been heated until it's sizzling hot. You drop it right into your bowl, and instantly, the soup starts bubbling again like it's fresh off the stove. No microwave, no flavor lost. Just simple physics done beautifully. Restaurants use it for ramen, broth-based meals, even miso soup. It's not just practical, it's kind of mesmerizing to watch. The stone cools as your soup warms up, and somehow it feels like the most polite, satisfying science experiment ever. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still sending bowls back to the kitchen like, can you just nuke this for 30 seconds? Japan quietly said, no problem, and invented the world's classiest reheat button, made of rock. Number 5, Tokyo Metro's wheelchair-friendly system. Public transport can be a nightmare if you use a wheelchair. In most cities, you're lucky if the elevator even works or exists. But in Tokyo, accessibility isn't an afterthought. It's built right into the system. Here's how it works. When someone in a wheelchair arrives, station staff literally escort them onto the train. They use a lightweight folding ramp that bridges the small gap between the platform and the train floor, and it's quick, simple, and perfectly level. No awkward bumps, no mind-the-gap stress. The staff even radio ahead so another worker is waiting at the destination station to help them off. It's efficient, respectful, and honestly heartwarming to watch. There's no fuss, no delay, no staring crowd. Just smooth coordination that treats accessibility like common sense, not charity. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is still posting signs that say, accessible entrance around back, if they even have one. Japan turned basic kindness into a transportation feature. Number 6. The glass bag coffee experience. Every so often, a cafe comes up with an idea so simple and stunning that it instantly breaks the internet, and this is one of them. Forget paper cups or plastic tumblers. Here, your iced coffee is served in a glass bag. It looks exactly like a designer handbag, complete with handles, a see-through body, and filled with coffee so pretty you'll hesitate to drink it. The moment it hits your table, you can hear everyone around you whispering, "Wait, is that a bag?" It's sleek, minimal, and made entirely of sculpted glass. It's the kind of thing that makes you want to film a slow-motion pour, post it online, and wait for the comments to roll in. Because honestly, who needs latte art when your whole drink looks like a fashion accessory? Meanwhile, the rest of us are still clutching soggy cardboard cups like it's 2005. Somewhere in Asia, they turned iced coffee into a photo shoot, and we're just trying not to spill ours on the car seat. Number 7. Book wrapping in Japanese bookstores, Tsutsumi. In Japan, even buying a book feels thoughtful. When you check out at a bookstore, the staff don't just hand it to you in a bag. They wrap it in a neat paper cover. It's called susumi, and it's done for privacy, protection, and presentation all at once. You can choose from plain paper, patterned covers, or even seasonal designs, and they'll fold it perfectly in seconds. No tape, no stickers, just clean corners and respect for the book. It's such a small detail, but it changes the whole experience. You can read on the train or in a cafe without anyone seeing what you're reading, and your book stays spotless in your bag. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still walking around with coffee stains on our paperbacks and ripped corners from being tossed in a backpack. Japan turned basic packaging into an art form and somehow made book shopping feel classy again. Number 8. Coin-to-bill conversion machines. If you've ever ended up with a mountain of coins and thought, what am I supposed to do with all this? Japan already solved it. In convenience stores like 7-Eleven and even some grocery chains, you can drop your spare change into a coin-to-bill conversion machine and walk away with crisp paper cash. No need to count, roll, or bag anything. You just pour your coins into the slot. The machine sorts and tallies everything in seconds, then prints a voucher or gives you the option to turn it straight into bills at the register. It's fast, it's clean, and it saves you from carrying around a pocket that sounds like a slot machine. And it's not just for small change. People use them to empty entire piggy banks or tidy up their wallets. It's one of those ideas that's so logical you can't believe it hasn't spread everywhere. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still paying for coffee with 10-cent coins and apologizing to the cashier while they count each one. Japan just quietly automated the whole process and made loose change feel useful again. Number 9. Piano stairs. Leave it to Japan and Korea to make even taking the stairs entertaining. In some stations and shopping centers, they've turned ordinary steps into a working piano keyboard. Every step you take plays a note. It's part of a design trend that mixes fun with public health, encouraging people to skip the escalator and actually enjoy the climb. Each step lights up and plays a different sound, so the more people walk, the more music fills the air. Kids love it, adults pretend they don't, and suddenly everyone's getting their steps in without complaining. It's a tiny bit of tech, a touch of creativity, and a whole lot of joy in a place that's usually boring. And honestly, it works, because who wouldn't want to feel like Beethoven while running for their train? Meanwhile, the rest of us are staring at plain gray stairs, dreading every step like it's a punishment. Japan and Korea added a soundtrack and somehow turned exercise into a game. Number 10. Mentos Pet Caps. Only in Japan could Breathe Mints come with accessories. Mentos released a line of tiny cat and dog caps. Little animal toppers that snap onto the ends of your Mentos rolls to keep them fresh. They're ridiculously cute. Tiny plastic heads with floppy ears or whiskers that fit perfectly on the tube once you've opened it. The idea is simple but brilliant. No more half-open packs spilling in your bag, and you get a collectible figure at the same time. People started collecting them like keychains, swapping cat breeds, hunting for rare ones, even posing them for photos. It's the kind of mini invention that feels unnecessary until you use it once and think, why doesn't everything come with this? Meanwhile, the rest of us are still rolling up candy wrappers and hoping they don't explode in our purse. Japan just added a dose of joy and turned breath mints into fashion accessories. Number 11. Japanese stove popcorn packs. Popcorn shouldn't be complicated, but somehow Japan managed to make it both fun and genius. In convenience stores and supermarkets, you can buy these special stovetop popcorn packs that puff up into a perfect silver dome as they cook. Here's how it works. The popcorn kernels come sealed inside a flat foil pan. You place it right over your stove burner, turn on the heat, and within minutes it balloons up like a little UFO. When the popping stops, you tear it open and boom, fresh, movie-style popcorn, straight from your kitchen. No pot, no microwave, no mess. It's pure nostalgia with a Japanese twist, designed to make even snack time feel like an experience. Watching that foil bubble up never gets old, and the smell fills your kitchen like a cinema. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still burning half a bag in the microwave or hunting for a clean bowl. Japan just said, why not make it fun? And gave us popcorn that pops and entertains. In this next section, we're getting into the inventions that quietly fix everyday annoyances most of us just tolerate. These are the kinds of ideas that make you realize Japan didn't just improve recycling, food, and convenience. They completely rethought them. Number 1. AI trash sorting bins. Let's be real, most of us have no idea how to recycle properly. You stand in front of 5 different bins: plastic, paper, compost, glass, and whatever general waste is supposed to mean, and suddenly it feels like you're sitting an exam you didn't study for. Is a greasy pizza box paper, or is it trash? Does the plastic lid go in recycling or landfill? And heaven forbid you get it wrong, because there's always that one person nearby watching you like you've just committed an environmental crime. Meanwhile, Japan? They've moved on from this nonsense years ago. They've got trash cans with built-in AI that actually scan what you throw away and automatically sort it into the right category. You don't have to think, you don't have to guess, you just dump your trash and the bin does all the hard work. Imagine that, a garbage can that's smarter than half the people you know. And what do we have? A bunch of color-coded lids and confusing stickers that nobody reads. It's like Japan is out here living in 2050 with self-thinking trash cans, and the rest of us are still arguing over whether tinfoil counts as recyclable. Honestly, Japan makes us look lazy. And maybe a little stupid too. Their bins are literally doing the job we can't be bothered to figure out. Number 2. Self-heating bento boxes. Here's the deal. If you want hot food where most of us live, you've got 2 options. Find a microwave that looks like it survived 3 world wars, or awkwardly ask a stranger at a cafe if they'll heat it up for you. And good luck if you're outside, because nothing screams sad like eating cold noodles on a park bench. But in Japan, they've already solved it. They have these magical little lunch boxes called bentos that heat themselves up. No outlet, no microwave, no asking Karen in the break room to move her soup out of the way. You just pull a string, wait about 5 minutes, and boom. Hot, steaming food, ready to eat. It's like having a personal chef tucked into your bag, minus the attitude. Meanwhile, the rest of us are over here chewing on lukewarm leftovers like we're camping in the Stone Age. Japan is casually turning lunch into a science experiment that actually works, and we're still pretending cold pizza counts as a meal. Honestly, if self-heating bento boxes don't spread worldwide soon, we should just admit Japan has officially given up on us. Number 3. Portable paper soap. You ever go into a public restroom, finally find the courage to touch that disgusting faucet, and then, surprise, there's no soap. Just an empty dispenser mocking you while you wonder how many germs you've just collected. So what do? Either we rinse our hands with water like that's doing anything, or we awkwardly wipe them on our jeans and pretend that's hygiene. In Japan, they've made that whole problem disappear with something so simple it's actually insulting. Portable paper soap. It looks like thin, colorful little sheets of paper that fit right into a pocket-sized container. But the second you add water, it dissolves into actual foamy soap. Wash your hands anywhere? Anytime, no excuses. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still trying to remember to carry hand sanitizer, which, let's be real, either leaks in your bag or smells like cheap vodka. Japan once again makes us look lazy. They're casually carrying sheets of soap around like it's origami for germs, and we can't even keep a bottle of sanitizer from exploding all over our car. If you're enjoying this list so far and want to see more of the clever and downright hilarious things Japan does better than the rest of us, make sure to hit subscribe. That way you won't miss the next time we expose how far behind the rest of the world really is. Number 4. Plastic umbrella covers. Picture this. It's pouring rain, you finally step inside a store or a train station, and suddenly your umbrella turns into a weapon of mass destruction. Dripping water everywhere, soaking the floor, and basically creating a slip and slide for anyone walking by. Most of us just stand there awkwardly shaking it off, making things worse, like, "Don't worry everyone, I'm just flooding the entryway." But in Japan, they've solved it. Of course they have. Walk into a building and you'll find umbrella stands that slip a plastic cover right over your wet umbrella in seconds. No puddles, no wet floors, no glaring store clerks, just clean, dry convenience. Meanwhile, the rest of us are dragging around umbrellas that leak like busted pipes, making every building lobby feel like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Japan looks civilized, and we look like we just crawled in out of a hurricane. Number 5. Fingertip gloves. Okay, let's talk about fried chicken, or any greasy food, really. We all love it, but nobody likes looking like they just finished changing the oil in their car after eating 2 drumsticks. Greasy fingers, napkins that never actually clean anything, and then the dreaded moment when you forget and touch your phone screen. Congratulations, now your phone looks like it's been deep fried too. Japan? They saw the problem and fixed it with fingertip gloves. Tiny little slip-on covers just for your thumb and pointer finger. You slide them on, eat your fried chicken like a civilized human being, and toss them when you're done. No grease, no mess, no shame. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still out here trying to fold 3 flimsy napkins into a glove or licking our fingers like that's socially acceptable. Japan makes us look lazy and disgusting at the same time. Honestly, fingertip gloves should be mandatory at every fast food place on Earth. Imagine not needing to walk around smelling like fried chicken for the rest of the day. Number 6. Oil hardener powder. Here's a fun little global tradition. You fry something at home, end up with a pan full of greasy oil, and then spend the next 10 minutes debating how not to destroy your kitchen plumbing. Do you dump it down the sink and wait for the pipes to explode? Do you pour it into a random jar that sits under the sink for 3 months until you can't even remember what's inside it? Or my personal favorite, leave it on the stove until it goes rancid and your whole house smells like a deep fryer. In Japan, they actually bothered to solve this. They sell a simple white powder called oil hardener. Sprinkle it into your used oil, give it a stir, and a few minutes later the whole thing turns into a solid jelly block. Then you just toss it in the trash like it's no big deal. Problem solved, zero drama, no stinky science experiment sitting in your sink. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still playing kitchen roulette with our plumbing, acting like dumping half a liter of hot grease down the drain is a totally fine idea. Japan? They're casually turning toxic waste into jello while we're one clogged pipe away from a meltdown. Once again, they're living in 2050, and we're still pretending foil-covered bowls of old oil is a normal part of cooking. Number 7. Butter stick. All right, let's talk about butter. For some reason, the rest of the world has decided that butter has to be stored in a giant rock-hard brick, shoved in the back of the fridge, and served with a knife that's never actually sharp enough to cut through it. So every time you want toast, you end up tearing holes in the bread like some kind of amateur lumberjack. Forget smooth spreading. It's more like butter-flavored demolition. Japan looked at this sad routine and basically said, "Why are you people still living like cavemen?" Their solution? Butter sticks. Yes, butter in the exact same design as a glue stick. You just twist the bottom and boom, the butter rises to the top, perfectly spreadable. No knives, no destroyed bread, no angry sighs at 7 a.m. It's so obvious it almost hurts. And before anyone says, "Well, we have spray butter," let's be real. Spray butter is just sadness in a can. It's not butter, it's not spray, it's just regret. Meanwhile, in Japan, they've literally put butter in a stick and solved a problem that's been ruining breakfast for decades. Of course, the rest of us will probably never get it. We'll keep stabbing frozen butter bricks with dull knives while muttering, "Why won't this spread?" Japan has made toast an art form, and we're still treating it like a contact sport. Number 8. Built-in fish grills and ovens. Let's be honest, cooking fish at home is basically a gamble. You either get it perfectly cooked and delicious, or your entire house smells like a fish market for the next 3 days. Open a window, light a candle, spray half a can of air freshener, it doesn't matter. Once that smell sets in, it's basically a permanent roommate. Japan, of course, has already fixed this. Their ovens actually come with a built-in fish grill. a special little compartment designed just for grilling fish, so it cooks perfectly without turning your whole house into a seafood factory. Slide it in, grill it, done. No lingering smell, no ruined pan, no frantic, "Why did I think cooking salmon indoors was a good idea?" regrets? Meanwhile, the rest of us are still either blasting the smoke alarm with pan-fried trout or pretending fish sticks from the freezer count as cooking fish at home. Japan makes it look civilized, while we look like we just lost a battle with a tuna boat. And the kicker? It's standard. Not some luxury gadget. Not an add-on for rich foodies. Just a regular oven, except smarter. Because of course Japan doesn't just make ovens. They make ovens that save your dinner and your dignity. The rest of the world? We're still praying our neighbors don't notice the smell coming out of our apartment 3 days later. Number 9. Underground bike parking garages. Now, bikes are a big deal in Japan. They're not just for weekend exercise or that one guy in your office who won't stop talking about his carbon fiber frame. In Japan, bikes are daily transportation, so naturally they treat them with actual respect. Instead of dumping them in a rusty rack outside the grocery store where they get stolen, knocked over, or used as an impromptu trash bin, Japan built high-tech underground bike garages. Here's how it works. You ride up, tap your card, line up your bike, and the machine literally swallows it whole. The bike disappears underground into a safe, secure storage system, and when you're ready to leave, you tap your card again, and like magic, your bike rises back up to the surface, good as new. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still chaining our bikes to lampposts and hoping nobody walks off with the seat. Or worse, trying to wedge it into some flimsy rack outside a convenience store while praying it doesn't topple over into 6 other bikes like a sad game of dominoes. In Japan, they've got an automated James Bond-style vault for bicycles, and we can't even keep ours from getting a flat tire every other week. Once again, Japan is living in the future, and the rest of us are out here treating bike parking like it's survival of the fittest. Number 10. Tethered bottle caps. Okay, let's talk about bottled drinks. For some reason, the rest of the world has just accepted that the bottle cap is basically a disposable piece of garbage the second you twist it off. You open a soda, put the cap down for 2 seconds, and it's gone forever. Lost under the car seat, rolled across the floor, stolen by gravity itself. And then you're stuck either holding the bottle hostage until you finish it, or trying to balance a half-open drink like you're in some Olympic sport. Japan looked at this mess and said, you know what? Let's stop acting like toddlers who can't keep track of a cap. Their bottles come with tethered caps, meaning the cap stays attached to the bottle even after you open it. Twist, drink, done. No losing it, no panic, no accidental spills, because you thought you'd be clever and just rest the cap on top. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still out here playing hide and seek with tiny pieces of plastic, pretending it's normal to spend half-hour day crawling under chairs looking for a missing lid. Japan solved it with one simple design tweak. And of course, we'll probably still be waiting 10 more years before anyone else decides to copy it, because apparently, keeping a bottle cap attached is just too advanced for the rest of the planet. In this last section, we're getting into some of Japan's most iconic inventions, the ones that make everyday life feel calmer, cleaner, and oddly comforting. These aren't gimmicks. They're the kinds of ideas that quietly raise your standards without you even realizing it. Japan has everyday things that feel like they've been borrowed from the future, and honestly, it's getting embarrassing how far behind the rest of us are. While most countries struggle to get a basic train to run on time, Japan is over here building human washing machines, relaxing foot spa trains, and roads that literally sing to you as you drive. And that's not even the strange part. What's wild is that none of this feels like tourist gimmicks. These are real things people actually use in their daily life. So today we're looking at 10 things in Japan that need to exist everywhere, because once you see how smart, creative, and oddly comforting these inventions are, you're going to wonder why your country hasn't copied them already. Watch to the end, because the last one, the Mario Kart story, is something almost nobody outside Japan actually knows the truth about. All right, let's get into it. Number 1. Japan's human washing machine. This is one of those inventions you hear about once and immediately think, why is this not in every hospital, spa, and airport lounge on Earth? Japan's human washing machine looks like a sleek, futuristic pod, but inside it gently washes your entire body using warm water, micro bubbles, and soft air jets. You literally just lie down, relax, and the machine does everything for you. No scrubbing, no twisting your back, no awkward shower moments where the water pressure feels like disappointment. It was originally designed for elderly people and those with limited mobility, but honestly, anyone who's ever been tired, stressed, or just completely over life could use this. The best part? It's actually soothing. The bubble wash feels like a massage, and the machine even dries you automatically, so you walk out feeling unrealistically clean. Like brand new character in a video game, clean. It's practical, it's comforting, and it makes our regular showers feel like something from the Stone Age. Number 2. Japanese super toilets. If you've never used a Japanese toilet, it honestly changes your standards forever. These things aren't toilets. They're full-on comfort stations. Heated seats, built-in bidet sprays, warm air dryers, soft close lids that glide down like they're being polite, even background sounds so nobody has to hear your business. Japan has basically turned something awkward into something luxurious. What makes them so good is how normal they are over there. You don't have to go to a fancy hotel or some high-end spa. Even train stations and convenience stores have better toilets than most people's homes. And once you get used to the heated seat and the gentle spray that actually cleans you properly, going back to a cold, basic toilet at home feels like a personal insult. These toilets aren't just gadgets. They're proof that Japan puts real thought into everyday comfort. And honestly, every country needs to copy this immediately. Number 3, futuristic capsule hotels. Capsule hotels are one of those things people joke about until they actually try one. And then suddenly it's, why don't we have these everywhere? The new generation of Japanese capsules isn't some dark little box. They're clean, bright, and designed with more thought than most regular hotel rooms. You slide into your own little pod that feels like it was taken straight off a spaceship. Soft lighting you can adjust, a control panel for the fan, privacy blinds, charging ports, and sometimes even a tiny built-in TV or tablet. Everything is compact but surprisingly comfortable, like the world's most efficient bedroom. And because you're not paying for a giant room you don't need, the price is usually amazing. The best part is how quiet these places are. People actually respect the space. No slamming doors, no yelling down the hallway. Just calm, cozy sleeping pods with that soft, futuristic glow. It's perfect for solo travelers, late-night stopovers, or anyone who just wants a clean, comfy place to crash without spending a fortune. Capsule hotels look small, but they make travel feel easy. And honestly, the rest of the world could really use that. Number 4, Japan's unique Kit Kat flavors. Here's the thing about Kit Kats in Japan. They're not just snacks, they're a whole cultural moment. Japan has turned a simple chocolate bar into a national hobby. You walk into a convenience store and suddenly you're in a world where Kit Kats come in flavors nobody else would ever think of. Matcha, sakura, strawberry cheesecake, sweet potato, melon, even soy sauce. And somehow they all taste good. The best part is that these flavors aren't random. Japan actually designs them based on different regions, seasons, and local specialties. So the Kit Kat you buy in Kyoto won't be the same as the one in Hokkaido. And it turns a normal chocolate bar into a little souvenir hunt. It's fun, it's creative, and it makes every trip to the store feel like you're unlocking a new level of flavor. Meanwhile, most countries still think white chocolate is adventurous. Japan is playing a different Kit Kat game. And honestly, it's time the rest of the world caught up. Number 5. The Hello Kitty train. You know a country is doing something right when even its trains have more personality than most people's cars. The Hello Kitty train in Japan is bright, adorable, and completely unapologetic about it. From the outside, it looks like a giant pink bullet of happiness sliding down the tracks. But it's the inside that really gets you. Themed seats, pink details everywhere, cute decorations, and entire sections designed just to make the ride feel fun. It doesn't matter if you're a kid, an adult, or someone who claims they don't care about Hello Kitty. This train will win you over. It turns a basic trip into something you want to take photos of. It's the kind of thing other countries would never attempt because they'd worry it looks too childish. Japan doesn't care. If it makes people smile, it's worth doing. And that's why it works. It's a simple idea, but it turns public transport into an experience. Imagine stepping onto a themed train instead of the usual gray, lifeless commute. The world could use a bit more of that. Number 6. Japan's musical roads. Only Japan could look at a regular road and think, you know what this needs? A soundtrack. Scattered around the country are special roads with tiny grooves carved into the surface. When you drive over them at the right speed, the vibrations play a tune. Like the road is literally singing to you. Some play folk songs, some play cheerful melodies, and some are designed to keep drivers awake on long, quiet highways. What makes them so smart is that they're not just for fun. They're also a safety feature. If you speed, the song sounds wrong. If you go too slow, you can barely hear it. When you're traveling at the perfect pace, the melody comes through clearly, almost like the road is saying, yep, you're doing it right. It's such a simple idea, but it makes driving feel cinematic, like your car has entered its own theme music. And honestly, imagine how much nicer long road trips would be if the streets back home could do this. If you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a like. It really helps the channel. All right, let's get back to it. Number 7, dry shampoo sheets. Dry shampoo in a spray can is fine, until it isn't. It's bulky, it leaks, it gets taken off you at airport security, and sometimes it leaves your hair looking like you dipped your head in flour. Japan looked at all of that and said, nope, here's something better. Dry shampoo sheets are basically little wipes you keep in your bag. When your hair feels oily or flat, you just rub a sheet through it and it absorbs the sweat and oil instantly. No mess, no smell, and no white powder explosion. They're perfect for travel, hot weather, long days out, or those moments where your hair decides it's done cooperating. They're tiny, cheap, and honestly way more useful than people expect. Once you try them, you'll wonder why they aren't in every supermarket and pharmacy around the world. Japan really nails the simple but genius inventions, and this is one of them. Number 8. The conveyor belt sushi plate scanner in Kyoto. In Kyoto, conveyor belt sushi comes with one of the simplest but smartest systems ever invented. Instead of counting plates by hand or guessing your total, a staff member walks over at the end with a small handheld scanner. They wave it over your stack of empty plates, and instantly it calculates your entire bill. Every plate has a little RFID tag inside, so the scanner can read the price automatically. No mistakes, no arguments, no awkward plate counting moment where everyone tries to remember who ate what. It's fast, it's accurate, and the whole process is over in seconds. What makes it so clever is how effortless it feels. You finish eating, they scan your plates, and you're done. No waiting around, no confusion, just smooth Japanese efficiency. Honestly, every sushi restaurant outside Japan should be doing this already. It makes eating out feel futuristic without being complicated. Number 9. Japan's foot spa trains. Only Japan could look at public transport and think, you know what would make this better? A hot foot bath. And somehow, it works. Some Japanese trains have a special carriage where the seats face a long, wooden tub filled with warm, flowing water. You slip off your shoes, dip your feet in, and suddenly your train ride feels like a mini spa session. It's relaxing, it's quiet, and it actually makes travel enjoyable. Instead of checking your watch every 5 minutes, you're sitting there with warm water swirling around your feet, watching the countryside go by. And because this is Japan, the setup is spotless. Clean towels, beautiful wooden design, and staff who keep everything perfectly maintained. It takes something as boring as a train ride and turns it into a moment of calm. No phones buzzing, no stress, no rushing. Just warm water and a peaceful view. Other countries are still trying to fix their broken seats. Japan is out here giving people a foot spa. Number 10. Real-life Mario Kart in Japan? Well, kind of. For years, tourists came to Japan dreaming of racing through Tokyo dressed as Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach. And yes, that did used to be a real thing. People would zip through the streets in go-karts, waving at locals, taking photos, and living their best video game fantasy right in the middle of the city. But here's what most people don't know. It changed. Nintendo sued the original company for using the characters, and at the same time, Tokyo tightened safety rules after too many tourists crashed into taxis and buses. The combination basically ended the wild, chaotic version everyone remembers. Today, some kart tours still exist, but they've had to tone everything down. No Mario costumes, no buzzing through the busiest streets, no big groups weaving through traffic like a real-life race. Now it's more of a slow, polite sightseeing drive in a go-kart. Still unique, still very Japan, but not the viral madness people think it is. It's one of those things that shows how fast Japan evolves. Even when something disappears, it leaves behind a story that people never forget. Click on this video to watch 10 more things in Japan that need to exist everywhere. You're going to love those ones too.